Welcome everybody once again to another interesting episode of the Authors Roundtable Show with Oluwabori. And today with me, I have a very special guest who's going to be joining us, and she's here already. She's going to walk us through her journey to becoming a published author, what were the challenges like, how she was able to overcome challenges every step of the way. And I believe that from today's episode, we're going to pick one or two lessons, especially for aspiring authors who also wants to write and publish their own book as well. All right, so welcome with me, Mrs. Zainab Adebeso Oladimeji. I hope I got the arrangement
Yes,
right.
yes. Zainab Oladimeji Adebeso. Adebeso is my surname,
Okay,
my last
Adebeso.
name. Yes, Adebeso, my last name.
Okay, wow. Thank you so very much for joining us today on this episode.
Thank you too.
Yeah. So for those for our viewers who are new to this particular show, this is a show where we have clients that we work with at PubCode Publishing share their stories on how they happen to become a published author. And so today we have a special guest again, a client of ours, of course, and she's going to be sharing her story. And I believe that this we are doing just to encourage somebody out there who also has a story to share. You have doubt, you have fears, what if, and stuff like that. So I believe that by virtue of today's episode, you will learn one or two things as well. And of course, at the end of this particular talk show, you have access to free book publishing consultation with us at PubCode Publishing. So over to your guest. We'd like to know you. Could you briefly introduce yourself? Can we please meet you?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I hope I'm audible. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, you are.
Yes, okay. Thank you. I am Zainab Oladimeji Adebeso. I am an educator. I'm a garden enthusiast. I really love gardening. I love green spaces generally. And then I used to be an educator, I think, but I'm still one because I still teach gardening. I became an educator by virtue of Teach for Nigeria. I used to be a fellow. I'm an alumna now of Teach for Nigeria Fellowship, where they post graduates to underserved communities, to school in underserved communities, to create lasting change. So that was how I became an educator. I didn't used to have an education degree. So I got a scholarship to study education. So by that virtue, I became an educator. But I've stopped working in the classroom, but I'm still teaching gardening in schools. And I'm also a crop science researcher. I do research in crop science. I'm actually running my postgraduate program in Federal University of Abeokuta, and I'm rounding up soon. Thank you so much. So that's it.
Beautiful. Thank you so very much for that warm introduction. Okay, so we are here to talk about something special, our latest book project, Little Ants Green Future. So I'd like to know what inspired you to write your book, and what was that defining moment when you realized your story or your message needed to be in a book? What inspired you to write the book, and when was that defining moment for you?
Actually, what inspired me to write the book? Two things. First of all, I think people do not understand that gardening is a journey. Gardening is not something you just do because you want to have extra food or because you want to have a backyard farm or somewhere you just go to and take things to eat. Gardening is supposed to be enjoyed. It's supposed to be something you love doing. It's supposed to be something you also do for fun, like you do other things. Because if that is left out of it, then the purpose is not fulfilled yet. If it's just giving you food, then you have not fulfilled that purpose of gardening. So I saw that a lot of people did not know that. They didn't see gardening as a journey. They did not see it as something interesting to do. So I felt to change the narrative. Then as a social entrepreneur, I'm the founder of EduCultivate Initiative, where we teach children in schools in underserved communities how to grow their own food themselves. We work beyond underserved communities though. we also work in well-served schools, because we believe that those children also need to know how to act for the climate, like they have to understand climate action. And that's where gardening comes in well-served schools. So as a social entrepreneur, as I was saying, we don't used to get funding. Every other social entrepreneur, we understand what I'm saying, that it's not every time we get funding for some of our projects. So I thought of what to do that could also be in line with what we are doing, that would help us to get money to fund some of these projects we're doing on the SAP schools. So I thought about this book, about writing this book, that it could be that when we write this book and we sell, we divert all of the profit from it to fund our project at the Edu Cultivate Garden Initiative. So that's why I said two things inspired me, because people didn't see gardening as a journey, and just because we wanted to find a lasting alternative to getting funds to run our projects in schools. So the defining moment, I've actually been on this book for a very, very long time. I think in my penultimate year, was it that? No, I think in my final moments while I was serving as a fellow at Teach for Nigeria. So because I felt all of these things you cannot just teach them and go. Children have to revisit these things. It's not something they will know. And even if they don't practice for a long time, they will still remember. So like I wanted a step-by-step guide that even adults can pick and find very, very interesting. So when I finally had to come back to this book and I said I want to finish it, I actually got the motivation from my husband too. So it pushed me to finish the book. It pushed me to getting an ISBN, and I realized, wow, I think this thing is going to be something big. It's not just what I was just thinking, we can do it, because I wasn't thinking it's going to be this inspiring anyway, because the book even inspired me along the way. So I felt it could be something big, and I worked very hard at the last moments before publishing the book. Thank you.
Wow, amazing.
Did I answer the question well?
Yes, you did. You answered it well. Yeah, thank you so much for that answer. Though we're still going to have to talk about one or two things from that which you shared. Okay, so let's talk about PubCode Publishing. How did you first hear about PubCode Publishing? How did you come in contact with us?
Okay. While I was still writing the book, I was almost done. So I visited the National Library for an ISBN. So when I got there, it was my first time of writing a book. I didn't know much, but I've done a lot of research. I went online, I read a lot, and I saw that you could be a traditional author, a self-published, and all of that, all of those. So I needed answers to the questions from people that are in the field. So I went there, I talked to someone there, I asked him about being an author, how I was going to go about it, and I told him I was new. And I told him I was going to get an ISBN. So he just asked me that, do I have a publisher? I said, no, I'm even thinking of being a self-publisher. And he said, it's not always easy as that too. Or he knows someone that will do a good job. And he just told me to contact you that day. So I think that was the first time I called. I called you while I was there with him. And then he just told me he was sure that you would do a very good job. He was so sure about it, not knowing that you were even within my location. He didn't even know that. He was just sure that you were going to do a good job. I saw it from him that he was sure that you were going to do a good job. So that's why he just introduced me to you.
Wow. Wow, thank you for that. Yeah, so I remember the first time she called, and I actually, honestly, I was just thinking it was just for clarification, more or less like a consultation stuff. That was what I was just thinking in my mind. But I love the fact that when she called, you could see that she had gone ahead to do her own research as well. And I think that's one of the lessons we picked from the last episode too. I mean, she went ahead, she did that research from the way she was talking to me, but I had to start asking again to be sure that, are you sure this is your first time of doing this thing? Because
you asked
I'm
me
like,
that,
wow,
are you
like
like a
she knows
first
a
time
lot
author?
already. And I think that's one lesson for our viewers to pick as well too. You know, if you plan to write a book and publish a book, it's always very important that you go ahead and read about it. Just make little research here and there and just understand how things work and what exactly it is that you are to, to do. And I appreciate her for that. You know, it really guided her even in the kind of questions she was asking because she was asking the right questions.
Exactly.
Thank you for that.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so my
Thank you.
next question is, how did you feel? Now, let me say this, the book we're talking about, Little End Screen Future, is currently in hard copy. So I like you
Yeah.
to tell us how you felt when you held your book, like your puppy's book in your hands for the very first time. How did you feel? What was that feeling like?
That day, that day, I felt like it was the best thing that happened to me. Because I don't know, being an author, I used to really love books. I still love books, but I don't read as much as I used to because of family work and all of that. So I used to see being an author as something so big. I think it's a lot of hard work though. So when I collected it, in fact, I didn't even know what to do. When I got home, I just sat and I was just looking at it. I was admiring it. I was taking a lot of pictures, and I was like, wow. So this is this, like I could be this and all of that. So I felt so happy. It's at least in the past few years, it's one of my happiest moments. The moment I held this book for the first time was one of my happiest moments. And I'm so, so happy that this is happening. I'm so glad about it.
Wow. Thank you so much for that. All right, so I'm going to ask, now that we know the book that we're talking about in question, Little Ants Green Future. And from your introduction, the book is basically for kids. And it's not only for kids, for school children, even for adults. Yes, there are still teenagers who do not even know. If you ask them, where does what's it called now? Is it
Apple
apple
girl.
or some stuff? They'll tell you that it comes from somewhere, from underneath the ground. So this is a very well easy to understand agri-based text that you can use in schools, you can use at home, you can use to, to train your children, to even to explain, like even adults can understand. The way the book is being written is for every age group, both young ones and adults to learn. And it's very easy for children to comprehend regardless of their age group. So we like to know, what were the challenges that you faced while writing or publishing your book? What were the challenges you faced? What was it like? What were the obstacles?
Ah,
Just share with us. And then also let us know how you were able to overcome them.
the challenge, the challenges I faced while writing the book. The first challenge was I had to stop, come back, because I had a lot of things I was doing then. We had to do a bid change project, and we equipped a sick bay for children in my school then. So the project was on, I was writing the book, I was teaching in the classroom, I was running a postgraduate diploma in education. I was running another degree in FUNAB. So everything was just somehow, and I think I wrote to chapter 3 and I stopped. So getting back to it out of all of those tough times was the first challenge. Then the second one was my fears. Will this book sell? Am I sure I'm putting all of this money into doing this kind of a thing? Am I sure it will work out? All of those fears and everything left and right. I see people giving me positive feedbacks, or positive feedbacks were coming from me, and I see a lot of people giving me negative feedback. People don't really read again, or people don't go to books again, or people just go online and search. So all of those things, the thoughts and all. But I just felt whatever you feel the need to do, just do it. So I think that was when my perception changed. And while I was even talking to someone, and the person was telling me, I can remember the person telling me, hey, someone that wrote a book and eventually, I said, no, it's not going to be like that. I said, I am ready to put in all of the hard work, to actually make this book get far and wide, to even more than where I expected to be. So at that moment, I just stood up, I took my laptop, I continued writing. For the fact that I even had to stop. So the momentum, like the reading I was writing by, I couldn't remember, but at least I worked very hard to complete it. So that was the challenge, the fears, I was not very motivated. I didn't get a lot of motivation. So, and all of the fears and the time, I was very, very busy at the time I started writing it. So that was it. Those were the challenges I faced, and I think I've mentioned how I overcame them while I was mentioning them.
Wow. Thank you for that. And I think we need to give special kudos to female authors because for most of the episodes that we've had, and for as many females that we've had to interview, I mean, there's always this where they have to juggle a lot of tasks and responsibilities together just for them to be able to, achieve the dream and the purpose of them wanting to write a book that will bless lives out there. And like I said, we just need to give special kudos to females really, because it's not easy having to juggle the family work, your own personal work. If you're doing 9 to 5, you're schooling, putting all of that together and still finding time again to be able to put your thoughts together in a book that will eventually bless lives across the globe. I'm glad that you were able to do that. And I think one of the fears you mentioned was regarding sales. I remember there was a time you called again to ask that, how about the sales? And yes, one thing is I would always tell my clients that books don't sell themselves, people do, right? So if you don't talk about your book, people will not know. People will not know. And it's so sad how people, especially authors now, would go out and they don't really appreciate that milestone or that feat, such that they don't even get to talk about it outside and in public places where they also tell them, oh, I'm an author, these are my books. We go out every day, we meet people, we go to events, and we don't talk about it. And you expect people to know that you are a published author. How would they know? It's not possible. So I would always say books don't sell themselves, people do. So it's when you talk about your book to somebody else, that's when they get to know that, oh, this person has a book, oh, I'm interested, I want to buy, or they want to refer you and recommend you. And that's how you make sales, right? So I'm glad that you were able to make inquiries more about that, and you didn't allow the negative feedback of people to limit you from going forward and pushing ahead to be able to go ahead and publish your book. So I'd like to ask another question. What advice then would you give? I know you mentioned something salient before now, but then I would want you to reiterate that point again. What advice would you give to somebody who also has a story in their heart, but they have not started writing yet? Possibly they're having these what if questions and fears that you also had as well. So what advice would you give them?
Okay. So first off, I used to say something before now. I used to say there is no perfect time to do something. If you feel the need to do something, do it as soon as you can. And a lot of people, as you are thinking, some others are also thinking. So, and that idea you think with it work, you just see it, boom, it's the next thing on the internet, everybody's talking, and you'll be like, I used to think of this thing. Why didn't I do it? You start blaming yourself. So if you feel the need to do something, do it, no matter what comes. Life is just in two ways. It's that you succeed or you fail. And if you fail from something, I believe it's going to be a lesson for you. It's not just failure. You learn from that failure to build something better. So if you ever feel the need to do something, if you feel the need to tell your story, do it as soon as you can. Because if you don't, someone else will tell that story and you will feel the regrets for the rest of your life. So that's just it. Just tell your story the way you are. When you feel ready, just do it. Even if you feel unready, just do it. Do it and see what comes out of it. So that's my advice.
Thank you for that. So, to our viewers, I'm sure you heard what she said. So whatever it's worth doing, just go ahead and do it. Don't delay. Don't say, oh, this and that, because you'll be surprised that the same idea you have, like thousands of people have that
Someone
same
else.
idea as well too, and it's whoever executes the idea first become the owner. Like the credits at the end of the day will be awarded to that person because they're the ones that decided to
Yes.
decide to act on it by going forward to do the things that they needed to do in order to achieve that particular goal. All right, thank you for that. So I like to ask, if you were to from the book Little Ends, I don't have my copy here. I'm so sorry, I have to
Okay,
come
I have
to copy here.
that.
Exactly. So from the book Little Ends Green Future, what is that one chapter you would recommend or one quote? What chapter or quote would you recommend from the book to someone who hasn't yet read the book? What chapter will it be or what quote will it be that you would recommend for
Okay,
someone?
it could not be a chapter, right? It's not compulsory. It's a chapter. It's not compulsory the whole chapter, right? Or it's not compulsory a part.
Sure.
So I think you also mentioned this while we were discussing about the book before we published it. And that was the did you know part. In one of I think in few of the chapters I wrote that like a fun fact, a did you know part, a fun fact, like something you don't know before and you are knowing now. So when you told me that, could we introduce that part to all of the chapters? And I had to make my research, at least to link the fun fact to all of the chapters. And even me that I'm writing the book, I learned new things in the process. So I feel that's one of the um every page in that book is outstanding, but that's one of the best thing in that book, the did you know part, because no matter how old you are, no matter your age, I'm sure one of the did you know part you don't know it. So I think that's one of the place that, and it is in all of the chapters. So I think that's one of the place that one should read. So like that, you have to read all the chapters now before you see the did you know parts or the fun facts.
Wow, beautiful. And the way the book is being done, very colorful. And the Juno part is being positioned in such a way that it's very attractive and very catchy. And like we said
Yeah.
earlier, the book is very like it's very easy for anybody to understand. You can read it to your kids if they are not yet they are not yet started reading. You can read it to them and they're able to comprehend it. So at the Juno part, they are very short, but they are very punch like key lines that are very simple and they are full of so many nice information that children and even individuals need to know as regards planting, gardening, and stuff like that. So yes, if you are yet to get your copy, I would advise you to do so right after this episode. Go and get yourself a copy. You can get for your friends, for your families, for your nieces, for your nephews, for your children. If you're a grandma, your grandparents, you're watching this, you can also order copies for your grandchildren as well. And if you're a school owner or an educator and you're watching this episode, I would ask that after this episode, go to the comment section and get the link to order your own copy as well, to order as many copies. You can even make it a recommended text for your pupils and students in your school. I mean, it will help them in their agri session. You know, these days now in schools, people are not really learning the practical aspect of agri, it's just the theoretical part of it. And with this book, it will serve as a guide even for teachers, tutors to help guide their students and pupils in schools, to just practice one or two things from the book as well. So if you're watching this episode and you are an agri enthusiast, you love farming, home gardening and stuff like that, this is a book I would recommend for you to get. So we're going to drop the link to get your own copy in the comment section. So ensure that you go ahead and get your own copy. The book is available in digital format and it's also available in paperback. So you can get the hard copy or the paperback, and you can also get the ebook version as well. All right. So I'm going to ask the next question. We're almost rounding up. So why would you recommend PubCode Publishing to other authors who are ready to publish their book?
Why I would recommend PubCode Publishing. In fact, it's a whole lot too. I really enjoyed your service. I really, really enjoyed your service. Because from the time I was talking to you, you cleared all my doubts. You were so friendly. Okay, that aside, that's not. But you were so supportive. Even things that I expect that you will charge me for, you didn't eventually charge for it. You did the proofreading, the editing, and all of those stuff. And you did it free of charge. I was so amazed. I was so amazed. In fact, I was very, very surprised because, but thank you so much. And throughout the process, you were very supportive. You knew what everything entailed. Like you are, it's how should I say it now? You are perfect at what you do. So you have done a very good job. I'm so impressed. Doing this book with you made it better than I thought it would be, because you checked everything thoroughly. Even I don't know if you know about agriculture before, but the way you were talking with me about it, I felt in fact you pushed me to do more. I think that's it. You pushed me to do more, and you pushed me to make more out of the book. Your suggestions, everything was just so perfect. From removing the certificates from the book, printing it aside, and all of those stuff. Everything that made the book outstanding, I can categorically say that you mentioned it, like you were the one that introduced it. So thank you so much. You have done a very good job. In fact, you have done a perfect job, because well, maybe it could be better than this if we do more, but you have done a very good job, and thank you so much. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you. Thank you for that. And then also, like I mentioned in the previous episode as well too, I love when my clients are when they show this willingness and this eagerness to want to learn. I always love it. Like it shows how willing, how ready they are. And so it's like, because I believe that when one works on a book project, it's meant to be a collaborative effort between the professional service provider and then the client as well too. So I love the fact that you always ask questions and they'll be like, oh, these are the sort, because what we do at PubCode Publishing, we don't compel authors, we don't force things on you. We'll give you our suggestions and then we ask for your opinion about if you are okay with it, fine. If you are not okay with it, we let it be. And so I'm glad that it was nice working with you. And I'd like to know, before I ask the last question, should we be expecting another book, maybe in the next 12 months or something?
Well, maybe not soon, but yes, probably it's most likely you're expecting another book. Well, maybe not soon, because I have a whole lot of things I'm working on right now, and it will not give me that time to sit and think and write,
Mm.
because writing is a whole lot of work. It's hard work, so I don't think I have time now to do that. But definitely, you should expect some more books on gardening, because this is not all.
Mm. Wow. Thank you for that. And then we must also say a big thank you to your husband as well too, for the push when it was needed, for you to be able to accomplish this great milestone. And finally, I would want you to talk to us about your book launch. This book, Little Ends Green Future, we are launching it. So kindly tell us about it. When is the date? When is the venue? And then also we add the details again in the comment section. So you can always reach out to her via email and any other means of communication as well, so you can learn more about the launch.
About the launch is coming up on the 14th of November, and we're having it in one of the schools we used to have our Cultivate projects, like one of the schools that they have a garden. And the reason why we are doing that is because it's supposed to be a book launch and a community interactive session where people see the need for kids to garden. So that's why we are having it in that kind of a space. There is going to be there's going to be a ticket for the event, because it's a 2-in-1 event. It's not just a book launch. The venue is Abeokuta, Obantuku Abeokuta. And what else about it? Okay, I've said it's November 14. It's from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. So I think that's all about the launching
Yeah.
for now.
Okay. Thank you for that. So if you stay anywhere close to Abeokuta, or you reside in Ogun State, you can as well be a part of this book launch as well too, and get your ticket. We're going to drop the link to reach out to the author so that you can get your own ticket. And also, please do not forget to get the book. It's very important that you grab a copy of this book, Little Ants Green Future. It's something I would recommend, and hopefully maybe it's something that even the state government can also recommend for, government schools as well to, Ogun State, and, just like a supplementary text for them to be able to learn, because this book is more, it has more to do with the practicality of agriculture, planting, having a home garden and stuff like that. So if you an educator, you're a school owner, you are an agri teacher or biology teacher or science related, I would implore you to get a copy of this book and even recommend it even for your students or pupils as well, and also for parents as well to get it for your kids as well. And that's where you're going to help them, to put whatever it is that they've learned from the book into practice at home. So thank you so very much, Mrs. Zainab, for joining us today on this episode. We're so glad to have you.
Thank you too. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, so till we meet again on another interesting episode of the Authors Roundtable Show, my name remains Oluwabori. Until I come your way again, enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.
Bye.